Some of you guys know what was going on, some of you guys don't. So, the reason I stopped making videos was because I did have a pretty bad injury happen. I still am kind of injured, but there's not really a, any good way to start this video. But yeah, that happened. So yes, this is going to be kind of a deep video, kind of diving deep into what all actually happened 4 years ago in 2019 with my injury. I will admit, this isn't a video that I ever thought I would make. For those who do know, back in 2019, I got a very, very bad injury. But that's pretty much like all that most people knew. I never really reached out and told like the full story of everything that went down, what into details, what exactly happened. The only details that people really knew was that the problem caused me a lot of pain, and it somehow related to me not being able to do martial arts a lot, which is why when I earned my first black belt back in 2021, it was kind of like one of those, wow, how'd you do that type moments. But here we are. Real quick, for anyone new here, make sure to grab yourself some G Fuel, the greatest energy formula in the known universe, and in fact, actually has a huge role to play in this video. So check out some G Fuel and make sure to use my special code StephenWalsh1 at gfuel.com to get yourself a amazing discount when you order. So the beginning video that you saw is a clip from Forge a New Beginning, which was posted November 16th of 2019. This was way after the injury happened, quite a few months after, actually. So to paint a timeline, we're going to go back to the very beginning, right before it happened, leading right into it. So before the injury, my last video posted was June 5th of 2019. Was actually me reacting to, I think, the last Pokemon Direct we ever got for Sword and Shield. The injury happened the next day after that, so I didn't post on my channel from that day till November. From June to November is like the time frame of like the worstest bit. So pretty much the next day was typical. It was Thursday, which back in those days I did martial arts at my uncle's dojo on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Thursday, June 6th, is when the injury happened. So on this day, during the day before martial arts, which wasn't till around 6 o'clock p.m. In the afternoon, during the day, did some shopping, did a lot of heavy lifting. I'm talking like 50-pound bag of dog food because there was my dog Otis that we used to have. There was the cat food because my mom was obsessed with feeding the cats in our neighborhood. She always got bird food that was like 20 to 15 pounds, and that was like 2 bags each. So on this day before martial arts, went shopping, grabbed all of this, and in the mix of lifting things, I kind of like pulled something. I wasn't quite sure what I pulled, and kind of to this day, I still don't fully know what I pulled. and if it even has anything to do with the injury, but it just kind of links in with it. So later that day came time for martial arts, which was typical. I got there pretty early since, it was a family thing. I got there early, helped clean up, set everything up before the class started. Your typical, dojo-y things. Then I would get dressed in my martial art uniform, get my belt on, which at the time I was a brown belt in Taekwondo, is the style that my uncle teaches. Now, class was like 6 to 7, and in that time frame during class, obviously we ran some drills, martial art things, kicks here, there. At some point during the class, I felt a weird pain when I kicked with my left leg, and the pain kind of surged up my back quite a bit. I didn't think too much of it. I thought maybe I just overstretched at the beginning of class. It wasn't like a huge ongoing pain. It was just like a quick then and there pain when I kicked. And then, class pretty much ended. Yada, yada, yada. Life went on. However, the next day, June 7th, when I woke up the next morning, I could barely get out of bed. Like, my whole side ached, mostly in my lower back, and my arm was, like, very numb. Of course, me thinking, oh, it just had something to do with probably the sparring, drills, what we did at martial arts that night. So I didn't think too much of it. But with, my mom being paranoid, she took me to go get checked out. Which then, discovering after, like, getting checked out, I realized every time I would lift my knee up. So, like, if I'm standing up and then I bring my knee up to, like, a little bit to, like, this level, there would occur this clicking in my back on that side. Every time I bring the leg up, it would click, and it would click back down. So, got checked out, got some x-rays, and life went on, I did martial arts the following Tuesday, and then the following Thursday, and then that next week, they called to find out, to tell us that there wasn't really anything found on the x-rays. So, nothing was wrong. I remember the day that I was hanging out with one of my old buddies that I would go around with and just walk around. We were fooling around. And when he was playing some basketball with some of his other friends, I was kind of just, standing around, throwing some kicks, practicing in my head in my own space, kind of, because, I had martial arts in a few hours. Well, I did a kick with that leg, and next thing I know, it clicked to the point where the pain was so massive that it shot up my spine. I fell, I teared up. He came over, checked on me. Something clearly was not right. So he helped me get back. I'm in a lot of pain. But see, I didn't only just take martial arts with my uncle. It was also, my job. I got paid to help him teach martial arts while also getting my lessons from him. So it was one of those. My mom was like, well, you can't miss because he depends on you to help with class. And honestly, he gets really pissed off, per se, if I ever wanted to take like one day off. Now, this is kind of like off topic, but a few months back in January, 21st of January, I actually lost a very close friend of mine. And I found out on the same day I had martial arts. So I asked my uncle if I could just miss that day because I was not in the right mindset. I was out of it. I just lost a friend. And he had a whole tantrum on the phone about it. And it was whatever. I ended up going, totally lost respect of my uncle that day because of the way he behaved with that situation. So I went to class, and it was a sparring day. So, we're getting all geared up. There aren't too many brown belts. There was me and one other brown belt in the class at the time. But we had a lot of students, and obviously, I had to circle around with them because it was an uneven class. In the middle of one of the sparring matches, now, I was meant to hold back because they were a lower belt, so I wasn't really going full at it, which is when it kind of affected me the most, because I went to throw a kick with that leg, and the click was like so bad at that point that my leg locked, and I accidentally hit the kid, not too hard, but, they fell back a little bit, but, they were in padding. They were 100% fine. I'm laying there, and, I'm in pain. He tells me to take, a good 5 minutes. I got, my eyes are watering up because I'm in absolute pain. So then, got checked out again by someone else. They had me do a few movements, and then this time, with the x-rays, they had me do the same movements instead of just laying flat on a table. And, got checked out. Next day, we got asked to come back in. So, we come in. Now, I do want to mind you, I didn't get checked out the same night as martial arts because everywhere was pretty much closed, and my mom didn't think it was too big of a deal to take me to, an emergency room. So, we waited till that next day to get me checked out. And then the next day after that, on that following martial art day, is when we got told that I had a herniated disc in my back. So what that meant, if you have no idea what a herniated disc is, you can look it up. I'm not going to take too much time out of this video, but basically stuff was not right. Let's put it that way. A herniated disc can actually be very life-threatening in some cases. And it was bad, apparently. So then I got a note saying to not throw kicks because, my mom argued, hey, he does martial arts. What is he supposed to do? Yeah. So obviously I give the note to my uncle. And at this point, he gets pissed at me about it. Right? I know. I do want to take this time to say a lot of people who know me personally and who have met my uncle through me and things like that. My uncle's not the best guy. If he's in a bad mood, he's going to flip out during his whole entire class. And kind of in a way, he did make my problem worse. So obviously, I did continue doing martial arts, but I wasn't really throwing any kicks. I wasn't supposed to. There were occasional times where it's if he was pissed and I didn't do some type of kick demonstration, he got even more pissed. So, yeah, there were times where, I was put in situations where my body reacted and I would kick. We had one of our older students, because a lot of our students were pretty young, under 18, but we had a pretty big student who was not only taking the normal Taekwondo classes, he was also training in MMA, fighting, in Jiu-Jitsu. So, one time, me and him get sparred up, and, I can't throw any kicks and things like that. So, he's coming at me, he's throwing kicks, I'm blocking, and, at one point, because I went to kick because there was the opening, because my mind was it's the only way I'm going to get in, because he was taller than me. The only way I was going to get that range was if I kicked. But because of not being able to kick, I completely paused and then got kicked across the room. Right in the chest. And it turned out I fractured 2 of my ribs from that kick. So, that was fun. So, yeah, a lot of time went by, and eventually I got into like a mindset of deep depression because every night at class, my uncle would, say things to the whole entire class, literally point me out for my injury, say that I was completely useless to him at this point, that he doesn't even know if he should just give my belt to someone else. He was saying a bunch of stuff like that, saying that I wasn't worthy of my belt, all because I couldn't do the kicks anymore because of my injury. And, it put me down a rabbit hole of depression. I got depressed. Eventually, roughly around the time when autumn finally came, my first daughter was born, I stopped going completely. I know it was, at that time, it was like my only source of income, but I just could not be around his negativity anymore because it was making me so depressed. So now we are in 2020, no longer doing martial arts. My first daughter was just born, and I have this pain in my leg that is like it's crazy. Eventually, I started working with a neighbor, and I did some janitorial work, cleaned up office spaces, things like that. Something easy that wouldn't irritate my leg. So, almost all of 2020, while, raising my new daughter, was pretty much like a back and forth physical therapy, and nothing was really working at all. Like, nothing, there was nothing that was working. I was somewhat depressed. A lot of people noticed I was gaining a lot of weight because I physically couldn't really do anything. I was in pain no matter what I did. And then something that I wasn't really expecting kind of happened. Now, a quick jump to the past, something I did enjoy doing aside from, the short sketch random videos that I did, I liked doing a lot of training things, working out videos, and I did a few of them. I posted videos here and there of that type of stuff, but as someone who worked out and stuff like that, one of the biggest things I struggled with was always finding things that help me give me energy, protein powders, most of that stuff. I would try so many different things, and so many different brands would either I would get sick like an hour after making it, or I would have that energy crash. It was just an endless hill of disappointment when it came to energy supplements and protein, anything like that. But then in October, I heard about G Fuel, this stuff that I drink every day, and I definitely think you should too. I heard about G Fuel from another YouTuber I watched, and I really caught the attention. One particular flavor was it sounded really good. It was a promotion for Crash Bandicoot It's About Time. It was the Wampa Fruit flavor, which is apple mango, my very first G Fuel flavor. So I ordered that, and it came super fast. I ordered G Fuel on the 19th, and I got that on the 21st. It was crazy. I tried G Fuel, and immediately, you feel that energy. I felt that focus, that endurance, that upliftingness of G Fuel. And I will admit, I was excited. I felt good. Hours went by. I didn't feel that energy crashed. I was just so focused. Even when it came to autumn doing things, I was so focused. She went the fall, I caught her super quick. It was mind-blowing. And then hours and hours went by, I still had no energy crash. I actually felt more energetic than I ever did before, to the point where I went for like a nice little walk / jog with Bray and Autumn. And it was crazy. G Fuel made me feel so good after having it that I basically had the drive to start doing YouTube again. Because of the injury, I had no motivation to do my videos ever. So my last video, which that I did because I just lost the drive, was way before G Fuel, which was February of 2020, which was a Sonic thing that I did, which hurt a lot doing. So because of how much it hurt doing that video, I didn't do really any videos. And because of how good G Fuel made me feel, I kind of started walking more, and I started losing all that weight and depression I had built up the last following year. Eventually, I then started taking Tai Chi, which it's a martial arts all about movement and like active meditation. If you want to know more about Tai Chi, you can look it up. But I started taking Tai Chi to kind of help reinforce that positivity. And with G Fuel, it was giving me that drive to actually want to do things. At the end of 2020, in December, on my birthday actually, I decided to post my very first big project and my new channel name, which is where I became, well, I'm not going to say it because I can't legally mention my old channel name, but I did a Legend of Zelda music video, action music video, where I cosplayed Link, I ran around, did some flips, and it was one of the very first videos that I really featured G Fuel in. And at that point, I started getting more into my social media, which then I found the G Fuel community on what used to be known as Twitter, and currently, as I'm making this video, is known as X. And that's when I started discovering how positive and reinforcing the G Fuel community was. Because, I started using my social medias more. So in 2021 is when my channel became pretty much, I started being more active than I ever been on my channel. I was posting gaming content for the first time. I was doing G Fuel reviews. I was doing a bit more of my sketch comedy projects, which I started featuring G Fuel in every single project I did because of how it helped me through this injury that I was still going through. And with the Tai Chi, everything. Months into 2021, in May, I actually earned my black belt and my first sash in Tai Chi and 2 other Kung Fu martial arts styles, where I would compete in tournaments, and each one I complete, I would earn a sash, which was the main goal of, I guess, how much I learned, versus the black belt was pretty much just the beginning. It was kind of weird because traditionally the black belt is what you get after all the colors, but the black belt is actually what you get in the beginning, and then you get your sashes. You're given your black sash at the beginning in the style of the Kung Fu that I learned, which is a multiple styled Kung Fu. And the first sash I earned was water. Now, at this point, obviously, I still had my injury. It was not going very well. With some days, I would be energetic and want to do things, and some days, it would feel like the pain was so much worse. So I took a little step from Tai Chi, mostly focusing on the same movements and how I can improve those same movements. And then I met someone and started training in the style of Japanese Aikido, which is a movement that's all about redirecting your opponent's negative energy against them, and movements like that. So it wasn't really involving my legs as much at all, except for stances. So at this point, I was really trying to focus on still doing martial arts, but without using my legs. So finding different styles of martial arts that would benefit me through only having to use my upper body strength and movements and flexibility. While in between that, still doing the meditation and the mind healing and the tai chi to help, heal my body. So in the long run, that is the story of what happened 4 years ago, my injury, where it led me, and how I slowly rose up. And even more recent, in 2023, after earning my black belt in Japanese style Aikido, which, if you don't know, is actually the reason why me and my family are going to be moving to Japan this year. I did earn my certificate, which I do know a lot of people pointed out that there is a missing signature, and that is because my sensei, the person who teaches it, it's kind of like a long distance thing. I would go there, do some things, and come back here. It was like a long drive back and forth. But when I'm redirected over there and an assistant teacher, he will sign it personally, so that solves that thing. You can calm down. So that is the journey that I went through in the last 4 years. I stopped posting, I got depressed, started getting back up, went up and back and forth, but that is why G Fuel means so much to me, because in a way, G Fuel helped change my life a lot, and the community for G Fuel is such a positive place that it is truly incredible. And I can proudly say, now you might have seen some of my polls lately where I asked if you guys would like to see more martial art content and more self-improvement content. And that is because of one thing that in the last 4 years really is what brings on this video. So I'm back. I feel greater than ever. It's been 4 years, and I can gladly say that I feel at peace and so relieved. It feels incredible. I feel absolutely amazing, and that is what led to this decision of wanting to do this, because I know in the past I said about doing martial art content, and it really excites me now to just think about actually being able to do some things rather than some form of like some type of martial art related short sketches. I might do, I got a lot of things planned in mind, and it's going to carry over from when we also moved to Japan. So be ready for all of that. I got so much more content planned coming out soon, so you can look forward to a lot of stuff. Some of my posts lately, I kind of posted, no gym, no problem, because one of the topics that I'm going to cover is, easy workouts to do at home without, a lot of equipment and with very little resources is, something that a lot of people have, to deal with, so they don't really get to work out as much. So I want to help and give back. There's a lot of ways that you can improve yourself. I healed an injury in 4 years using martial arts, tai chi, Japanese style Aikido, and just, spiritually fixing and healing my body. And I would not have been able to do it if it wasn't for G Fuel, the greatest energy formula in the galaxy. So make sure you head to gfuel.com and, of course, use my special code to get yourself some G Fuel right now. This video, like I said in the beginning, there's no easy way to start this. And I know it started kind of a little deep and kind of, a little meh. But, here we are, uplifting and getting into amazing things on the channel that you guys, I hope, cannot wait for. I know it's going to be a little bit of shift. Yes, I'm still going to be doing the sketch content. I'm still going to be doing gaming here and there. I'm just throwing the martial arts slash improvement videos in the mix. And I'm hopefully going to be able to slowly do those a lot more and kind of lean out of gaming, as it's more or less just like a filler to do and something I just enjoy doing with you guys on the channel. And of course, my projects, they might become a little shorter this year because of, the move and everything. I can't really do too much with my projects, but, little projects might, pop out here and there. So just keep your eyes open. And you might see some changes, because since this is a big change for the channel, we got some new looks. So we cleaned up the old logo. As you know, this is the official King Taratsuki logo and the King Taratsuki icon. And boom, we cleaned it up. I love this new, fresh look to the brand. It really brings out the sense of what this video represents, of like growth and prosperity. Not to mention, I found this amazing company called Super X. I'm actually wearing this shirt from Super X right now. It is so comfortable to work out in, and honestly, it makes me feel good while working out, because one of my problems as someone who has sensitive skin, asthma, things like that, it's always hard to find, things that work with me. And I also want to share that with you people, all you wonderful people who watch my videos who might also have similar problems. And there is one thing I kind of dislike, and it's when people always use excuses when they can't self-improve, because it's like, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't, all this, stuff, motivation, whatever it is. Look, I'm going to fix that. First of all, if you don't got the energy, boom, grab yourself some G Fuel. That's the first thing I'm going to say. You want some energy, get yourself some G Fuel. I know it is marketed as a gaming drink, but trust me, I use G Fuel for martial arts, working out, and it's amazing. And they have both energy and hydration, whichever one you need for when you're at the gym or working out at home or working out in the forest like I prefer to do. Energy, hydration, get them both. Try them both. And you can use my code to save some money when you do. And then you got those people that are like, oh, I don't got the time. I will have quick, easy workouts for you to do every day. And it's going to be super simple. You're going to think, is this really going to work? And if you stick to it, you will see the progress. Anyways, that is all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope my story helps motivate some of you out there, because I came from a very hurt position in life and was able to rise back up because I didn't give up despite having all the problems I have. I mean, look, I have asthma, I have skin sensitivity. It's not the easiest, but if you find the right things, it becomes super easy. You just got to find the answers. And to find answers, you got to do the work. You can't improve unless you do the work to improve. It's not going to just magically happen. I will see you all soon.